This pyramid scan stuff has really taken off, and it sparked a lot of debate. We've got researchers, the Egyptian government, skeptics all weighing in. Some are critical, while others are really excited and curious, which is what makes this so fun. This is an ongoing story, so buckle up and let's see what we have so far. Today, we will go over the actual paper to see the researchers' findings from their scans, look at other similar projects, and try to understand why this whole thing has broken the internet. You are not going to believe what they have found under the Khafre pyramid in Egypt. This groundbreaking discovery might just be the biggest of the century. I'm sure you've seen the underground structures that broke the internet last week, but just in case, let me fill you in. Italian researchers using satellite scans and radar pulses scanned deep inside the middle pyramid and found evidence of underground structures and tunnel networks. There could be an entire city underneath the pyramids of Giza. Using synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, or SAR, they have found what look like 8 vertical cylinder-shaped structures aligned perfectly in twos, extending more than 648 meters below the pyramid. That's almost half a mile. But wait, below the 8 vertical cylinder-shaped structures, they found even more unknown structures that go 4,000 feet deeper. That's more than a mile. 4 pairs of enormous cylinders that go deep down into the earth with some sort of coiled structure around each one, which could be a path or a tunnel of some kind. And this is just the beginning. Are you excited? I'm excited. Not only that, at the very base of the pyramid in the center, they have found 5 stacked chambers, which are identical in size and shape as the king's chamber of the Khufu pyramid, the one next to it. These are made with huge, absolutely massive blocks of red granite brought from hundreds of miles away and stacked very carefully. Okay, so there are 5 chambers in the center of the pyramid and then 8 massive hollow cylindrical structures that go deep, deep down into the earth. They could be shafts or pillars or wells. We don't know because we can only see what the scans are showing. And what's under that? Even more. The cylindrical structures dropping deep down into the earth go into 2 square chambers or empty spaces, which are 80 meters by 80 meters wall to wall. And then beyond that, scans show evidence that there are even more structures that go on for another 2 kilometers, interconnecting under all 3 pyramids and go further under the Giza plateau. There is so much going on there, the team said there could be an entire hidden city below the pyramids. Can you believe that? An entire city hiding below all of that sand, hiding just below one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. A press release described the findings as groundbreaking and, if true, could rewrite the history of ancient Egypt. One thing to keep in mind is the raw scan versus the 3D digital images. This is just an interpretation of what the scan could be showing. While they are fun, don't read too much into them because they aren't necessarily accurate. But the raw scan data images from the SAR scanning is very interesting. It is definitely showing some kind of complex underground structure with multiple levels and tunnels. These discoveries challenge the long-held belief that the pyramids were just royal tombs. What about the theory, were the pyramids energy conductors? Did they harness the Earth's natural energy? Are the pyramids themselves the capstones for underground structures? These are the questions that everyone's asking. Before we get too carried away, let me try to clarify some things because there have been so many things coming out, it's hard to tell what's what. Okay, let's take a quick breath. All of this came out in an academic article written by Filippo Biondi, Armando May, and Corrado Malanga. Remember their names because they are going to be popping up a lot in the next few weeks as more information comes out. They presented their findings at an Italian conference earlier this year on March 15th. And then the word spread like wildfire. They were not exactly expecting all of this news to go wild so quickly, and they want to present their findings to the public in English in a way that everyone can understand. It has been officially translated to English now, and the 4-hour presentation should be up on YouTube if you want to watch the whole thing. YouTuber and researcher Trevor Grassi is friends with the Italian team and contacted them directly to try to clarify what's been put out there and find out even more information since everything has been so crazy. In an interview with Johanna James, he explains that he shared the abstract of the article with permission of the researchers on his Facebook page, since there was going to be a conference with over 900 people on March 15th. It wasn't anything confidential. Grassi says the information is not made up, it is not a hoax, and we should get more confirmation of what we are seeing in the scans in the coming days. The team will be breaking down the technology they use and explaining the images. Using the same technology, they are going to scan and map the entire area of the plateau over the next year or so, however long that takes. They are focusing on the middle pyramid first. Some people have been confused saying it's the Great Pyramid, but it's not the Great Pyramid, it's the middle one called the Copper Pyramid. All three of the pyramids have connections on the deeper levels, so they want to scan all of it. How did they do it? So was all of this from the same paper that they published in 2022? Apparently it's pretty different. The piece Filippo Biondi and Corrado Malanga published in 2022 in the scientific journal Remote Sensing discussed finding hidden rooms and ramps inside the pyramid of Khafre, along with evidence of a thermal anomaly near the pyramid's base. But now they have shared this new abstract along with images from their new paper that's going to be coming out. And that's what's been causing all of this confusion. As always, there will be people who won't want to believe what's happening, but the team will soon be explaining concerns coming at them from all of the skeptics. This synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, remember, this is the SAR technology they use to get all this information, is very new, so they are going to be explaining the entire technical process. Biondi says he will have no problem defending his tech. This technology has been used in other fields before, like volcanoes and other earth sciences. Filippo has adapted it to archaeology. It's a satellite-based technology, so the team didn't need on-site access. They did not get permission from the Egyptian government because they didn't need it. This is an independent project, so it was not officially recognized by the Egyptian ministry. Filippo created a new type of software capable of interpreting data provided by the satellites. He developed this software to interpret it for use on these mega famous archaeological sites. You've probably heard of LiDAR before, so how is SAR different? I'll try to tell you quickly because I'm not a laser expert, but basically LiDAR uses laser light to generate 3D point clouds and is great for mapping terrain and finding objects. The problem is, normally these radar waves aren't great at going through solid things. They just bounce off the surface. So you can see the outside of something, but not what's inside. SAR is the new method created by Filippo that uses microwaves and seismic data he can get from satellites to also look at surface characteristics and anomalies. But the good thing is that it is not impacted by the weather. Even on a cloudy day, his tech works. Filippo and his team figured out a clever trick with the Great Pyramid in 2022. They noticed that tiny movements, like the kind you get from background seismic waves, are constantly happening in the pyramid. They used those movements to see inside. It's like instead of just bouncing waves off the surface, they were listening to how those tiny shakes changed as they went through the pyramid. And it worked. They got these super detailed 3D pictures of what's under and inside the pyramid. It's like the pyramid became see-through. They could see stuff that no one has ever seen before, like hidden rooms and structures. The team used a bunch of radar images from Italian satellites called Cosmo SkyMed. Basically, they took those images and used their special software to analyze those tiny movements, turning them into a 3D map of what's inside. They're basically using the pyramid's own little shakes to reveal its secrets. This new method eliminates the need for on-site access since it requires no equipment. So it also bypasses the need for on-site access permits and avoids media censorship. The completely independent team operates without ever setting foot in Giza. Pretty wild, right? Other projects have scanned the pyramids before. I've told you about the Scan Pyramids project that used muon detection. The Scan Pyramids project famously found big voids within the Great Pyramid of Khufu, announced in 2017. This project also found hidden spaces, but the difference is they needed to place sensor plates in locations like the subterranean chamber or the Grand Gallery to sense the spaces between that and the sky. They had to physically be there, get permission, and then place the equipment in and around the pyramids. In 2023, Scan Pyramid found a 30-foot-long hidden tunnel near the pyramid's main entrance. According to Mustafa Waziri, Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities chief, the tunnel might have been built to lighten the load on the structure. Basically, the tunnel is ancient engineering magic to keep things from collapsing. But could it also be hiding something even bigger? A secret chamber, maybe? That's the big question that researchers are asking as they continue their scans. From 2021 to 2023, a Japanese research team, including members from Higashi Nippon International University, Tohoku University, and the National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics, did work with the Egyptian government. They used ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography in a royal cemetery next to the Great Pyramid of Khufu. They found an L-shaped anomaly 6.5 feet underground. It appeared to be 33 feet long. There are anomalies and structures underground. We just haven't had the technology to find them before. The debate. The fact that this SAR pyramid scan was not done in conjunction with the Egyptian authorities is causing some problems. But because it was non-invasive and mostly used satellites, the Italians didn't really need permission. As soon as this new information hit, experts immediately raised concerns. Dr. Zahi Hawass, famous renowned Egyptologist and Egypt's former Minister of Antiquities, called the claims completely wrong and fake news. The team's paper in 2022 was not picked up by the media, which tends to happen since it was not released by the Egyptian government. There are a lot of politics involved when it comes to new information about ancient Egypt. There is also evidence that the Egyptian government imposes restrictions that can affect independent researchers. Even Human Rights Watch has reported that this crackdown is so intense it is damaging progress. There is not a lot of academic freedom for research. Others, like Professor Lawrence Conyers, a radar expert at the University of Denver, said it is not possible for the technology to penetrate that deeply into the ground, making the idea of an underground city a huge exaggeration. There could be small structures and shafts and chambers under the pyramid that existed before the pyramids were built, because this place was clearly important to ancient people. Just like how the Mayans built temples over the entrances of caves or caverns like cenotes, the Egyptians probably did the same thing. Egyptologist and historian Flora Anthony wasn't buying into the hype either. She said something seemed off, so I looked up the original source, read through it, and realized the paper had nothing to do with the images or claims being shared in the media. Turns out the article isn't peer-reviewed. But to be fair, the article isn't out yet. The team just presented their findings at the conference, but they're still working on it. Their article from 2022 was peer-reviewed and was the first time they used this technology. They also found the same void that was found by the Scan Pyramids project. The project spokesperson, Nico Ciccolo, who has a YouTube channel, mostly in Italian, shared a new video of the team discussing the research that has yet to be published in a scientific journal. Most of it is in Italian, but you're welcome to check it out. They are still working on it. But Flora says the people behind this aren't scientists. One is a UFO researcher who believes aliens are interdimensional parasites that hijack human souls. The other writes conspiracy books about a lost pre-dynastic Egyptian civilization and recently promoted a so-called harmonic investigation of the Great Pyramid using technology he claims to have patented. So, who are these researchers really? Project leader Corrado Malanga is from Italy's University of Pisa, and he is no stranger to controversy. He is an academic who has conducted research and published articles in international scientific journals. He is also famous for being a ufologist. He has appeared on many shows about aliens, where he has discussed his decade-long career of studying UFO sightings in Italy, and also alien abductions. Researcher Filippo Biondi specializes in synthetic aperture radar, or SAR imaging. He has recently left the University of Strathclyde in Scotland and has now fully committed to developing SAR and has his own project, Harmonic SAR. His technology will be key to finding all kinds of hidden stuff all over the world. He says he is more than ready to defend his tech and the team's findings, and that the team prioritizes sharing knowledge over monetization, unlike some people. Armando May is an Italian Egyptologist and author who also has done research on the pyramids of Visoko in Bosnia. He regularly writes for the website Ancient Origins and has appeared on many TV shows. He says his goal is to get people excited and curious. He wants his audience to continuously ask questions as the first step toward knowledge. I like him. In 2022, their paper showed 20 new structures that were previously undetected by radar. And not surprisingly, the Egyptian ministry has, of course, not commented on the paper since they weren't involved. There is no question this technology will revolutionize archaeology. Remember when LAR or LIDAR came out? Since then, researchers have found over 200 cities in the Amazon. Why not Egypt? There are at least 5 or 6 known underground structures in Egypt that are interconnected with tunnels. If we could just see inside, the curiosity is killing me. The possibilities. Corrado Malanga is in the same school of thought as Chris Dunn and Nikola Tesla, who believe the pyramids were some sort of energy technology. He believes the pyramids are much more than what meets the eye. The team suggested that the cylinder structures could be supporting the pyramid. Malanga said, "We did calculations and saw that the Khafre pyramid is incredibly heavy, and to hold it up, it needs a solid foundation. Otherwise, it will sink. These cylinders may have been access points to get underground." The image also included a complex luminous structure with distinct vibrations, which they believe is an actual underground city. These researchers have been inspired by others who have come before them. William Brown, as early as 2006, funded ground-penetrating radar scans at 9 locations on the Giza Plateau, including along the Sphinx Causeway and near the Great Pyramid. A GPR scan shows a tunnel or a chamber going directly under the copper pyramid. Researchers believe that tunnel or chamber almost certainly connect into these newly revealed structures. Many researchers want to look deeper into the pyramids because they believe they are part of something bigger. The Great Pyramid of Giza has been shown to focus electromagnetic energy inside its hidden chambers. I'm not just saying this to get your attention. It's been confirmed by scientists. Researchers have identified the remarkable electromagnetic properties of the biggest pyramid in Egypt. The structure is able to concentrate electric and magnetic energy by funneling the energy into unseen chambers beneath its base. The pyramid could theoretically store pockets of energy, converting itself into one gigantic battery. Scientists think if this effect can be recreated on a nanoscale, it could lead to a new era in technology. Scientists could use what they have learned from the pyramids to make more efficient sensors and solar cells. Christopher Dunn believes that the Great Pyramid was a power plant or an electron harvester. He suggests the shafts within the pyramid were used to channel microwaves and that the pyramid was designed to resonate with the Earth's vibrations. He believes, along with Graham Hancock, that the precision and advanced techniques used by the ancient Egyptians means they had tools and knowledge way more advanced than we thought. But is this what the Egyptians intended more than 4,000 years ago when they built the pyramids? I thought the 481-foot megastructure was made as the eternal resting place of Pharaoh Khufu. Maybe that was only one part of the pyramid's purpose. Dr. Andrei Evolukin was the scientific supervisor and coordinator of the recent research into the Great Pyramid. He and his team looked into the relationship between the pyramid's shape and its ability to focus energy. The team, consisting of scientists from the ITMO University in St. Petersburg, Russia, built a model of the pyramid. Then they tested it to measure its electromagnetic response to stimuli. Their model showed that wave energy is absorbed rather than scattered when it hits the pyramid. The results showed that the hidden chambers beneath the pyramid's foundation could easily harness energy, but so could the chambers that allegedly contained Pharaoh Khufu and his wife. Most archaeologists will tell you the pyramids were built for pharaohs to chill out in the afterlife. And while it is true that the biggest pyramids, like those at Giza, don't have royal mummies, probably because they were snatched thousands of years ago by tomb raiders, that doesn't mean that 0 bodies have been found in pyramids. Some pyramids have definitely had human remains turn up. You'd think if these were straight-up tombs, at least one pharaoh would still be hanging out there, right? But a lot of the kings and important people were buried somewhere else, mostly over in the Valley of the Kings. This has led some researchers to suggest that the pyramids were in fact technological structures, possibly power generators. It's not just a wild guess either, there is scientific proof to back it up. For example, sound vibrations and electromagnetic energy potentially generated by underground water channels beneath the pyramids could have been a source of electricity. The The shape of the pyramid and its materials may have amplified cosmic energy, an idea that Nikola Tesla himself had before his untimely demise. This theory started with the idea that the pyramids must have been used for something more important than just storage space for royal bodies, and eventually it was proposed that they could have been some type of massive energy generators. How? Well, according to the theory, the structure and materials of the pyramids make them perfect for conducting and channeling electricity. For example, quartz crystals line the chambers inside the pyramids. And if you didn't know, quartz is excellent at conducting electricity. Then there's the smooth white limestone on the exterior, which could have acted like insulation, keeping the energy inside. It's like the ancient Egyptians built a giant battery on purpose, as if they knew exactly what they were doing. But the theory gets even stranger. If the pyramids were power plants, the Queen's Chamber may have acted like a central hub, sending energy through the passageways that worked like conductors. Some even claim that the northern shaft was a kind of transmitter, sending out microwave signals all over the planet. Were these monuments providing ancient wireless energy all over the world? Maybe. Take that, Wi-Fi. Supporters of this theory point to the granite beams inside the pyramids. They believe these huge stones aren't exactly necessary for holding up the structure, so they must have been put there for another reason. Maybe they had something to do with the pyramid's supposed energy generating abilities. And then there's that eerie story from the KGB. Yes, the Russian Secret Service. After investigating the pyramids, they supposedly said there was a magnetic repulsive force coming from the rocks. But does this prove that the pyramids were energy generators? Not exactly. Before you start imagining Egyptians with glowing light bulbs, most experts are quick to shut down this theory. While the pyramids do show some electromagnetic properties, there is not really any evidence that they ever worked like a massive power plant. Scientists do agree that the energy levels are far too low to do anything significant. So, were the pyramids really energy hubs? Probably not, but who knows? Maybe in the past they produced a lot more energy than they do now. If they were giant generators, what do you think they were powering in ancient Egypt? Does all of this sound crazy? Maybe. But let's not forget that mainstream science once laughed at the idea of black holes and quantum theory. Now, the challenge is separating science from, let's say, philosophical ideas. Corrado Malanga's ideas relate to physics, stone manipulation, density, and potential technologies. His ideas align with beliefs about energy technologies, but putting personal ideologies aside, the team is focusing on just the data. The team is going to present a watertight scientific document that focuses just on the scan. Trevor Grassi says it's important to contain our excitement and separate the data from the theories. Let's not lose our cool. Okay, we're trying. Filippo Biondi has experience with this type of tech from other projects, so these guys know their stuff. But we can't just throw out crazy claims without more proof. But it is fun to speculate. And this new technology and scans is pretty sci-fi stuff. The Italian team is going to continue their work, and next up, the search for the Hall of Records. The Hall of Records is a legendary place, a hidden chamber said to be beneath the Great Pyramid or the Sphinx, containing vast amounts of lost wisdom and knowledge about the ancient world. The team is hoping to fund an archaeological expedition to be able to go in person, but now it's hard to say what will happen because Egypt is not too happy. This mystery has captured the world's attention and is changing our understanding of the planet. I think it's okay to go a little crazy, and I don't blame the team for teasing some exciting details before presenting all of the information. After all, what's life without a little mystery? You can keep up with the team on Nicole Chicolo's YouTube channel. This is an ongoing story, so if you have more information, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts about all of this. Was the pyramid really just a tomb for a pharaoh? Happy researching, and thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any updates and other videos like this. See you later. Bye.